There's a lesson many men only learn the hard way, usually after confusion, heartbreak, or feeling like they gave everything and still lost the relationship. Imagine a man who truly cares about a woman. At the beginning, he is confident, calm, and grounded. He enjoys her, but he doesn't revolve his life around her. He has his own direction, his own standards, his own sense of self. And that's exactly what draws her in. She feels his presence. She respects him. There's a natural attraction. But slowly, something changes. He starts to fear losing her. It's subtle at first. He begins overthinking his texts. He waits for her replies. He notices when her tone shifts and immediately tries to fix it. When she pulls back, he leans in more. When she becomes distant, he becomes more available. He tells himself it's love, that he's just trying harder. But what he doesn't see is that, little by little, he is giving up his center. He starts tolerating things he normally wouldn't. Disrespect, inconsistency, mixed signals, things he would never accept from anyone else suddenly become okay because he doesn't want to lose her. His world begins to revolve around her reactions. If she's warm, he feels good. If she's cold, he feels anxious. And she feels it. Not in a calculated, manipulative way, but instinctively. She senses that his emotional state now depends on her. That he needs her more than he chooses her. And the moment that shift happens, something inside her changes too. The attraction doesn't disappear overnight, but the respect begins to fade. He becomes predictable. Safe in the wrong way. Not grounded, but dependent. Not strong, but flexible to the point of losing shape. He is no longer standing beside her as an equal, he is leaning on her for stability. And that creates pressure. Because she doesn't want to carry him. She wants to feel that he can stand on his own, that he has a life, a mind, and an identity that exist whether she is there or not. She wants to feel chosen, not responsible. As time goes on, he tries even harder to fix what he feels slipping. He gives more attention, more effort, more reassurance. But the more he chases, the more the dynamic shifts away from him. What he believes will save the relationship is actually what's weakening it. Eventually, he reaches a point where he feels confused. I gave her everything. Why did it fall apart? And the answer is uncomfortable, but simple. He lost himself. Now imagine a different version of the same man. He still cares deeply. He still loves, supports, and shows up. But there is one key difference: he does not abandon himself in the process. He notices changes in her behavior, but he doesn't panic. He doesn't rush to fix everything. He observes. He stays calm. He communicates clearly, but he doesn't beg for clarity. He pays attention to actions more than words. Most importantly, he has a boundary he never crosses: he does not stay where he is disrespected. This doesn't mean he is cold or detached. He can laugh, connect, and be fully present. But underneath all of that is a quiet certainty: he knows he will be okay with or without her. So when something feels off, he doesn't shrink himself to keep the peace. He doesn't ignore his instincts. He addresses it directly, and if nothing changes, he is willing to step away. Not dramatically. Not angrily. Just calmly. And that changes everything. Because now she feels something different. She feels that he is with her because he wants to be, not because he needs to be. She realizes she cannot control his behavior with silence, distance, or mood shifts. She understands that if she crosses a line, there are real consequences, not threats, but quiet action. And that creates respect. It makes her more aware of how she shows up. More intentional. More appreciative of his presence, because she knows it is not guaranteed by dependency. This kind of man is not playing games. He's not pretending to be distant to create attraction. He simply values himself enough to walk away from anything that costs him his peace. He doesn't ask, "What if she leaves me?" He asks, "What happens to me if I stay in something that isn't right?" That question keeps him grounded. In the end, the difference between the two men is not how much they love. It's how much they respect themselves. One sacrifices his identity to keep the relationship and loses both. The other keeps his identity, even if it means losing the relationship, and because of that, he often keeps both. Because the truth is, people can feel when you are afraid to lose them. And they can feel when you are choosing them freely. And nothing creates deeper respect than knowing that someone can walk away, but chooses, every day, to stay. When a man is truly steady and confident, not easily affected by a woman's reactions or dependent on her approval, she feels something rare, respect mixed with attraction. A man she cannot control becomes someone she keeps thinking about. Why? Because when a man stays calm and strong under pressure, it shows real strength. If he doesn't chase when she pulls away, she starts to rethink things. If he stays composed while she's emotional, she feels drawn to him. Not because she wants control, but because she sees strength in him. This kind of man makes her softer. She chooses her words more carefully with him. She becomes more caring and attentive. She values his presence more because she knows it's not guaranteed. When she realizes she can't push his boundaries, her behavior naturally changes. She becomes more respectful and responsive because she sees he isn't dependent on her. That creates a natural balance between them, a strong, grounded man and a woman who responds to that strength. A man who can be controlled feels like a burden. A man who cannot be controlled feels like a leader. And leaders are respected without needing to ask for it. One hard truth every man must learn is this: if you stay in a situation where you are disrespected or not valued, you lose your value over time. Women don't lose respect because you are kind or loyal. They lose respect when your kindness turns into neglecting yourself, when your loyalty turns into desperation, and when your effort feels forced instead of genuine. Every time you accept bad treatment, ignore red flags, or stay when you know you shouldn't, you show that you don't value yourself. And once she sees that, the respect fades. Staying too long doesn't make you strong, it makes you invisible. Your standards weaken, your boundaries fade, and your presence loses impact. When a relationship becomes one-sided, when the effort isn't equal anymore, a man should be willing to leave, not to punish her, but to protect himself. Because staying in the wrong place weakens you, while walking away makes you stronger. Here's the truth. You can't gain respect by losing your dignity. You can't rebuild attraction by begging for it. You can't fix a broken relationship by clinging to it. If you stay too long, you lose her respect. But when you walk away, you regain your own, and that changes everything. When a man pulls back calmly and clearly, not as a game but as a decision, the woman feels it. She becomes more aware of her actions. When you stop over-explaining, she listens more. When you stop chasing, she puts in more effort. When you stop rewarding inconsistency, she becomes more consistent. Your absence makes her realize what you were bringing into the relationship. She starts to value it more. She may become more patient, more respectful, and more thoughtful. She might reach out first and stop playing games because she understands she could lose you. This shift happens not because she is afraid, but because she finally sees your value. Another important truth: you can't truly have something if you are afraid of losing it. Fear makes you accept less than you deserve. It makes you hold on to people who are already pulling away. And the more fear you show, the more respect you lose. Women don't admire fear, they admire confidence and calmness. They respect a man who knows his worth comes from within, not from who stays in his life. Fear creates insecurity, and insecurity destroys respect. But being emotionally independent, caring without needing, creates strength. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you want her, but you don't need her. You care, but you don't depend on her. You enjoy her, but you don't fear losing her. That energy is powerful and rare. A man who can walk away has a calm confidence that can't be faked. That calmness makes a woman feel safe and makes her respect him. Because a man who fears loss cannot lead. But a man who doesn't fear loss cannot be controlled. Here's the irony: the moment you are truly okay with walking away is the moment she becomes afraid to lose you. Not because you played games, but because your mindset changed. You stopped chasing, stopped overgiving, and stopped proving your worth. You started acting like someone who knows he will be fine no matter what. She feels that shift immediately. A man who stays even when he's hurting is easy to take for granted. But a man who can leave, even when he cares, earns deep respect. She starts to see your value, your strength, and your independence. She realizes your life doesn't depend on her, and that makes her appreciate you more. The man she once took lightly becomes someone important to her. In the end, respect doesn't come from chasing or proving yourself. It comes from quietly standing by your values and not abandoning yourself. A man who can walk away understands one simple truth: love is not worth it if it costs your dignity. When you value your peace, your standards, and your self-respect more than your fear of losing someone, you become a stronger version of yourself. You don't force respect, people give it naturally. You don't argue for your worth, you live it. Walking away isn't weakness. It's strength. It shows that you respect yourself enough to choose what's right for you. And that's what makes people, including the woman you love, see you differently.